Every commander playgroup has that player. The Simic deck draws 10 cards a turn, the creature deck vomit its hand onto the table, and the 5 color decks with 0 basic land, and somehow no one ever punishes them. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to show you how to keep greedy commander decks in check without becoming the villain at the table. No stacks, no mass land destruction, and no salt. Because greedy decks aren't unbeatable, they only win because commander players are too nice. The format already has answers, but people just don't play them. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to punish greedy card draw, greedy board state, and greedy mana base, using cards that still feel fair at casual table. This isn't about locking people out of the game, it's about forcing greedy decks to play honest magic. So let's start with what greed actually looks like in Commander, because once you see it, punishing it becomes obvious. Before we talk about how to deal with it, we need to define what greedy actually means in Commander. Because greed isn't about power level, it's about taking more than the table can reasonably answer. And in most casual games, you will see greed show up in 3 main ways. Card advantage. I will draw my way out of everything. This is the most common one. The deck that draws 10 cards a turn and say, don't worry, I'm not winning yet. Mystic Study, Mystic Remora, Tardy Over, Talion, Raffine, Trouble in Pairs, Biden of Fasa, you name it. They're never out of gas, and they always have interaction. And if you don't pressure them early, they eventually bury the table in card advantage. The problem isn't that these cards are broken, the problem is that no one ever makes card draw cost anything, and we will fix that in a minute. Second, overcommitting to the board. If you don't stop me right now, you are dead. This is the token deck, the creature heavy deck. The player who dumps their hand makes 40 power and plans to overrun the table. They are not planning to rebuild, they are betting you can't punish them, and if you don't, they win. Third, greedy mana base. My lands are better than yours. This one is quieter, but way stronger than people think. 5 color decks with 0 basic land, 3 color decks that never stumble, all MDFC, all shocks, all fetches, perfect color fixing every game. These decks are built on the assumption that no one will touch their land, and most commander tables don't, which means the greediest mana base gets reward for doing nothing risky, and that's a mistake. Here's the real reason greedy decks dominate casual commander, not because they are unfair, but because people are scared of being that player. You know what I mean? So instead of running interactions to stop the greedy player, they run none. And the greediest deck at the table gets a free pass. So how do we fix this? Not with stacks, not with mass land destruction, and not by turning the whole table against us. We punish greed selectively, quietly, and only when it matters. Let's start simple, greedy card draw. Card draw is the easiest greed to punish because those players all make the same mistake. They assume drawing cards is always safe. Once you understand this, you will never let a Mystic Study sit unanswered again. Card draw decks usually don't win by attacking, they win by seeing more cards than everyone else, more answers, more threats, and eventually they just outlast everyone else. Obviously, you can remove their engine, but that's not the only answer. We tax it, we punish it, or we turn it against them. The keenest way to punish them? Make it hurt. Underworld Dreams, Fate Unraveler, Wasakin Needlehead, Cataract's Parasite, Squalling Collar. These cards don't stop draw, they make draw a liability. That Simic player drawing 10 cards, they are also losing 10 life. Watch how fast people start declining their own triggers when you have 2 of these cards on the field. Next step, you don't stop them from drawing, you profit from it. Fairy Mastermind, the Council of 4, Psychic Possession. These are great examples. And then there is the Unagi of Kyoshi Island, easily my favorite card from Avatar. It's one of the best 5 mana blue creatures that people aren't playing enough. It has flash, built-in protection, and whenever an opponents draw their second card each turn, you draw 2 cards. So the more they draw, the more you gain. You keep up without changing your game plan. Nothing gets shut down, nothing feels oppressive, it feels fair, and that's exactly why it works. Next, ambush the card explosion. This is where people get punished hard. Arms Collector, Oakish Bowmaster, these cards still matter against small incremental draws, but they scale brutally when someone casts their big draw spell. Notion Thief and Narset Partner of Valves fits here too. And honestly, they are fair cards, as long as you are not the one casting Windfall and forcing everyone to discard. I've ended games by fetching in Notion Thief in response to Return of the Wild Speaker and watching someone lose 15 cards on the spot. That moment changes how the table plays forever. If you have ever been in the same situation at the table, feel free to like the video. And if you enjoy thinking about Commander this way, you might want to subscribe. If a deck is drawing more than 3 extra cards per turn cycle, it deserves to be punished. It's nothing personal, we just keep them in check. So unstoppable card advantage is annoying, but it's not what ends game. A board full of creatures does. And once you have learned how to punish overextension, you will never worry about getting overrun again. Let's talk about that. Punishing overextension. This is the grid that actually ends games. Too many creatures, too many tokens, everything is on the table. And the funniest part, they think they are winning. Greedy decks don't plan for interaction, they plan for momentum. So when that momentum stops, they collapse. Overextension isn't confident, it's a gamble. Inshield, Arachnogenesis, Bedwing Brooms, these cards don't just stop attacks, they reverse them. And don't sleep on Fog and Darkness. Preventing all combat damage for a single mana has saved me more time than I can count. If you think about it, this spell functions like an extra turn spell for only 1 mana. The first time you cast Darkness to save the table from 200 damage, you will never forget it, and neither will your playgroup. Everize and Ether Spout, bouncing attacking creatures is devastating. They have already spent their mana, they won't be able to recast everything, and most of the time, they are forced to discard down to hand side. If you want something more flexible, Desynchronization from Assassin's Creed lets you bounce all non-historic permanents. But my personal favorite here is Force of Despair. It destroys every creature that enters the battlefield this turn, and you can cast it for 0 mana by exiling a black card from your hand. Also, don't forget the token decks. Someone plays a Scud Swarm, and suddenly there are 100 copies of them on the battlefield. They feel safe, they feel untouchable, they don't expect pushback. And that's where Massacre Worm and Rakdos Charm comes in. These are perfect answers for exactly that situation. Rakdos Charm is one of those cards I'm always happy to draw. It exiles target player's graveyard, destroy target artifact, and also has the delete the token player mode. That flexibility is why it overperforms. If a player commits everything to the board, they have already made a mistake. You just have to let them finish it. Overextension feels explosive, but it's fragile, and once you learn how to punish it, creature decks stop being scary. Now let's talk about the quietest greed of all, mana bases. Punishing greedy mana bases. You know that 5-color Ur Dragon deck with 0 basic land and perfect color fixing every game? Having access to all 5 colors means you get to play the best card in every color, ignore the color pips, and still cast your commander on curve. That's incredibly powerful. And greedy mana bases are built on one assumption: no one will touch their lands. So instead of blowing everything up, we apply pressure. Price of Progress, Primal Order, Sunspire Links, these cards don't stop anyone from playing Magic. But the moment you draw one, your entire game plan changes. You stop racing, you stop panicking, you start waiting for the right moment. I had a game against a low-wing Grace deck, hiding behind a Glacial Chasm. They ramped like crazy, felt completely safe, and thought the game was locked up. Meanwhile, I have been holding Price of Progress since my opening hand. All I had to do was wait. At the right moment, I cast it for 2 mana, dealt over 30 damage, and ended the game on the spot. And here's the important part: no one complained, because the card didn't do anything unfair. The deck made a choice, and that choice finally matters. Spectrum Sentinel is another card I don't see nearly enough play. It quietly gains you 1 life whenever a non-basic land and opponent's controls enters the battlefield. In most Commander games, that's easily 10 to 20 life over the course of a game. On top of that, it has protection from multicolor, which matters more often than people expect. It doesn't draw attention, it doesn't feel oppressive, it just sits there, doing work, while greedy mana bases slowly breed value. Target land interaction is another way to deal with greedy mana base. People forget this. This card can destroy land. Assassin Trophy, Beast Within, Generous Gift, Imprison in the Moon, and if you're in the right colors, Decimate, Casualties of War, all of these are feasible answer first. They just happen to include lands when that matters. Even something like Kinseng Wildfire works. You can destroy a problematic land, or target your own indestructible land to ram and draw a card. Single target land removal is completely acceptable in casual Commander, and honestly, people should want more of it. Commander players all know that life is a resource. Greedy decks spend it freely. They fetch, they shock, they play MDFC, paying free life again and again. And yet, Commander players don't attack. They spread the love. But let me ask you this. Are you really planning to block with your Fairy Mastermind on turn 3? No, so attack. 2 damage matters, 3 damage matters, especially when everyone is doing the same. If a deck is built to push its mana as far as possible, it deserves to be punished. That's not being mean, that's just part of the game. So here's the truth. Greedy decks aren't unbeatable, they are just unchecked. And you don't need stacks, you don't need mass land destruction, and you definitely don't need to turn the whole table against you. You just need the right answer at the right moment. Punish card advantage when it gets excessive, punish overextension when it gets careless, and punish greedy mana base when they assume no one will. That's how you keep game fair, interactive, and win more Commander games without becoming the villain. If this video helped you to rethink how you interact in games, even just a little bit, feel free to like the video, it really helps the channel. And if you want more Commander content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel because I've got a lot more coming. Thank you so much for watching, I will see you guys next time.